You know, a bison doesn't see a car as a threat. They see it as some big dumb object out there, some slow-moving, occasionally squeaking, big dumb rock. And once you understand that, everything else about wildlife photography can change.
I've talked about this before with raptors. Birds of prey have a strong threat recognition for human shapes. You step out of a car, and within a half a mile, every hawk in the area knows that you're there. But a car is just part of the landscape. It doesn't trigger that threat response. Bison work on a similar principle, with one big difference. The bison aren't afraid of you the way the hawk is. They're just indifferent. They've been sharing this refuge with vehicles for decades. Car is a known quantity. But a person standing outside the car is not. So you stay inside, always. The Wichita Mountains herd has been on this land since 1907. These aren't animals recovering from trauma or relocation. They're animals that have never left, and that changes how they carry themselves. There's a confidence to a bison that has been in the same territory for its entire life. Reading the herd before you approach is everything. You're looking at head position. A bison with its head down and grazing is comfortable. A bison with his head up, ears forward, watching you, that's a decision point. You stop and you wait. Approach slowly. Not just slow, glacially slow. Your engine is an idle. Have your window already down before you get within 300 yards. Any noise at the wrong moment, and the nearest animal just starts to move away. And that ripples through the group. So you have to be patient, maybe for an hour. Don't blow it with a window motor. Have everything fixed before you go up. Your focal point from the car is the window frame. You rest the lens on a bean bag, or as I do, part of a pool noodle. Nothing rigid. You want your camera floating, not braced or locked in. A bison herd moves constantly. And if you're locked into a hard mount, you'll miss the moment that the light and the animal line up. The morning light on a bison's coat is something that I just wasn't prepared for the first time I saw it. The fur isn't one color. It's brown and amber, nearly black in places, depending on the age of the animal. In low-angle morning light, a mature bull looks like it's been lit by a cinematographer. That's really not an exaggeration. The composition here is a puzzle. You're working with a big animal, big sky, and granite domes behind it. Too tight, you lose the landscape context. Too wide, and the bison becomes a dot. I generally stay around 400 millimeters here, enough to isolate the animal, but to keep a band of the landscape in the frame. Shutter speed. I kept my shutter speed about 1/250 for a moving bison. They look slow, but they do cover ground faster than you expect, especially when the herd shifts directions. You can always bump up your shutter speed if you need to. But an aperture of about f6.3 gives you enough depth of field to keep the near animal sharp without losing everything behind it. I tried to keep my ISO as low as possible. In the morning light, there were places that I could keep it at 100. But I just put it on ISO auto and let the camera do the hard work. The Longhorn have a completely different energy than the bison. Bison are deliberate. Everything they do feels intentional. Longhorn are indifferent. They'll stand in the middle of the road for 20 minutes with the expression of an animal that has never once felt urgency about anything. In this refuge, that's accurate. They do own the road. Longhorn are photographically interesting for a different reason than the bison. Their horns. A mature steer can have up to a tip-to-tip spread of 6 feet or more. That's a lot of geometry to work with in a frame. I found that shooting slightly low, below the horns rather than level with them, gives you the full spread against the sky. It's a different shot than anything you'd get from normal cattle. Prairie dogs. Prairie dogs are the comic relief of the trip. You know, a prairie dog town is essentially a neighborhood watch program. The moment one spots you, even inside the car, the alarm goes out and every prairie dog within 100 yards pops up to assess the threat. And then, slowly, they decide you're okay, and they go back to whatever prairie dogs do. If you're shooting from the car, window down, you're close enough that the alarm call is the shot. And that reaction, that sudden mass attention, that's the image. Part 1 of this series, The Holy City, The Stone Arches, The Arrival, is already up. The link is in the description if you want the full picture before we go on to Mount Scott. I had a few takeaways, a few things that I'd leave you with. First, morning is bison time. That's when they're active, the light's directional, and the granite domes behind them are the warmest part of the day's light cycle. Come back at golden hour if you want, but make sure you come for the morning first. Second, patience has a compounding return here. Every hour that you stay in the car is a deposit. At some point, the herd moves toward you. Not always, not on your schedule, but often enough that the waiting is never wasted time. Third is the ethical side of all of this. No pursuit, no pressure, no horn hawking to get reaction shots. These animals have been coexisting with vehicles for more than a century, so don't be that person that breaks the relationship in an afternoon. You know, I used to think wildlife photography was mostly about skill. And there is skill involved, but only after patience. You can have the best lens in the field and miss every shot if you don't understand the animal sets the schedule, not you. Here at the Wichita Mountains, the bison remind you every single morning. You show up, you stay in the car, and you wait. And what might surprise you is that's not a limitation. That's the whole point. It's just part of the landscape. Mount Scott at golden hour. That's coming up next. The landscape version of the same lesson, the same patience, a different subject. The link's going to be in the description when it's up. If you're new here, subscribe. We're building a library of wild places, one quiet morning at a time. And until then, stay safe, stay healthy, stay on the path, and God bless.